Hello, everyone. Happy Monday night and welcome to our team Zoom. As you could tell from the fun graphic we put together, we are discussing those dreaded life posts, okay? Life posts are so important, and we're gonna go over exactly what they are, why they're important, different examples, our fears, that kind of stuff. Because we really wanna drill it in that life posts are essential to growing our team. So when it comes to what, we'll go over what a life post is first off. A life post is a post that you make that connects you on a little deeper of a level to your audience, and connects them to your why you're doing the business, why you're making the choices that you're making. I was thinking of examples. I was kind of thinking of if you were posting like Chandler from Friends, if you were posting like how he acts in the first 1 or 2 episodes, like you get surface stuff. You get that he's like funny and that he's a good buddy to his buddies, and that's kind of it. Like, you don't get to the deeper sides of Chandler Bing until you get to like season 2, season 3, season 4, and then it kind of shows you, okay, this is why he acts the way he acts. Okay, this is some of his history. Okay, this is how he is in relationships. These are his hopes, these are his dreams, this is what he wants to do. Like, you get to the deeper side of it. So if you look at any TV show, any book that you're reading, like, you don't connect with the characters until you get to know them a little deeper. Now, there's on our team, you fall into one of 3 categories. You either know what life posts are and you rock it. There are so many on here that, like, I see your posts all the time and I'm like, wow, that girl, I love that. You either know what life posts are, and you're scared of them, so you don't do them. Or third, you maybe just joined or a couple weeks into your business and you're still really not sure what a life post is. And that's okay, because me and our girl Sharon, our diamond Sharon over there, we're going to chat about it. Okay. So, fears of life posts. When we talk about really getting to nitty gritty, vulnerable stuff, if you feel brave and want to put in the chat, maybe something that scares you about doing life posts, you can. If you don't want to, that's okay. I'm going to share one of my fears. But a lot of people, when they've come to me and said, I don't know what to talk about, or I don't want to really do a life post, it's typically because there's stuff in their life they want to keep private. And that is 1,000,000% fine. Totally fine. We don't want to be that person on like the first date that's like spilling their guts and telling their life story. Like, nobody wants to read all that anyway. What you're going to do is find little pieces of you to share and help people fall in love with your vision and your journey. Why do you want to do an online social media marketing business? Who wants to do that? What are your dreams? What are your goals? Why are you trying to reach those dreams and goals? Again, if you have like, skeletons in your family closet, or, you have this deep, dark, medical issue, I'm not asking you to go on Instagram in front of thousands of people and just blurt out your life. If you want to in like a tactful way, that's totally cool. Like, you'll probably get people that have gone through something similar, and you won't feel so alone and they won't feel so alone. But being vulnerable can be something simple, like sharing a memory or sharing a dream or sharing something that means something to you. So we're going to go over some examples. So I did tell you, I was going to tell you one of my fears. So I actually used to be, I did things in reverse. I used to be amazing at life posts, and then I totally got out of it. And since I've had my 4th child, my son, Preston, back in August, I have been at the heaviest weight that I've ever been. And I've kind of avoided doing tons of posts throughout the week. I'll do like 1 or 2, maybe 3. I put stories up all the time, but stories, I can use a filter and all this fun stuff. But I've avoided posting for my own personal like vulnerability and self-consciousness. Like I don't feel like I want to go out in the field and dance around and take these amazing like Instagram photos. Like maybe I used to, well, I didn't go dance in a field, but I would meet up with friends and take life post pictures and, you know, pose real cute and, you know, do these fun things. And I haven't done that since prior to getting pregnant, which was at the end of 2019. And that's my own, you know, my own thing that I've been working through. I've been getting back to life posts, even though I haven't lost the weight yet. But that is no excuse. If you're sitting there like, oh, well, I understand. I mean, that makes sense. Oh, poor Jordan. Like, no, not poor Jordan. That is no excuse, Jordan, for not putting up life posts. There are a million ways you can take a photo if you are not comfortable in your own skin. We always want to promote body positivity and, you know, be yourself and all that stuff. But when it comes down to it, sometimes we just aren't comfortable in our own skin or in ways we want to post something. So you can post a picture, you know, have your husband stand behind you over your head and post an overhead shot of you writing or a planner. You can do, like, I've done pictures where it's just like half my face, like trying to be really artistic and stuff. You can do like far away pictures. You can do pictures of your yard, of your kids, of, you know, your desk space. There's so many different ways. So I wanted to do this Zoom for a few reasons. Like, a lot of it was to encourage you guys and your amazing stories, because we've heard them all, but maybe we've heard them all in private and you don't share your story on social media. So I want to draw that out. But also, it was like a good reminder for me to get back to it. Nobody cares. Nobody's sitting around like, oh, Jordan looks a little heavier. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I'm the only one. So I've been getting back to my life posts because that is what gets DTs. That is what gets our team going. So I'm gonna pick on our Sandy here, because Sandy is so amazing. Yes, you darling. She's so amazing, and she makes it so clear in our chats that she hates life posts. I have to laugh. Sandy is amazing at sharing her personality. She gets on her stories, she gets on TikTok. If you haven't seen her TikToks, like, you'll fall in love with her boss. Like, it's hilarious. You learn so much through how fun she is and through the products. Like, she's a perfect example of product of the product. My goodness. So she gets customers like bam, bam, bam. She's really good at that. Now, when Sandy will get really good at growing her team is when she gets over any type of fear with her life posts, because I know you have a fear of life posts. So I'm going to use Sandy as the example of something she can do for life posts. She has told us in the past that her why, a big why of her doing this business, is her granddaughter. So she can take that basis of her granddaughter and make many different life posts off that one topic. So something I thought of, she wants to be able to buy more stuff for her grandchild. See, a life post does not have to be, you know, I went through this tragedy and I have to deal with this, and oh my goodness, I'm going to do this, you know, a million times over, and it's going to, like, it doesn't have to be this grand thing. It just has to be something to connect you to your friends and followers that are following you. So there are other people out there like Sandy that want to spoil their grandkids. So she's going to take that idea and say, I know you've seen videos of my granddaughter and I drinking our just celery. She is the cutest little thing. And I just want to spoil that girl rotten, because isn't that the job of grandparents? And she's going to do that and turn it into, and this is why I do this side hustle. You know, I work full time. I am a busy woman, but you know what? I don't mind hanging out with my friends doing this side business, because it's going to help me buy more stuff for my grandkid. And that's my job, you know, and that can be a life post. She can also take the idea of her grandchild and get a little deeper into maybe being an amazing example for her. She wants to empower her grandchild as a female, that she can own her own business. She can do what her grandmother did. Like, how cool is that? And that can be a life post. She can also take the example of her granddaughter and turn it into, this business is going to make more time on the weekends or on the evenings, because she's a full-time dental hygienist. So, and she loves her job. She's not asking to like give up a 9 to 5 that she hates. She loves her job. And she can talk about that, but it'll give her more time to spend with her granddaughter. So just one simple thing from one amazing distributor. I'm sharing her story so you can kind of see different things. So thank you, Sandy, for letting me pick on you in a positive way, because I love you. I'm going to give you some examples of myself that I've used in the past. And this is either when I've made, $17 with It Works, my first month or so, or when I've made hundreds or thousands of dollars a month with It Works. You can do it both ways, and Sharon's going to talk about that a little bit. But these are very simple, relatable things that I've done for life posts. 2 summers ago, I desperately wanted my boys to go to swim classes, because we were going on this big vacation with 4 or 5 different families, 6 states away, 4 or 5 states away. And I was terrified of drowning. Like, I've never had any experience, so I didn't get into that, but I've had friends of friends have experience with stuff like that, and it's horrific. So that was a huge fear of mine. So instead of just going on social media, like, I love my business because I can buy my boys swim lessons, please join my business, have a good day. Like, instead of doing that, I shared my heart, my emotions. Like, I'm a mom. I have 2 boys that have disabilities. And even though, I think they were like 5 and 7 at that time. I said, even though they're a bit older and probably should know how to swim now, they don't. And I never could fathom spending the money when we didn't have the money on swim lessons, when it was just something like they'd maybe learn, they maybe wouldn't. But this is super important to me because we're going on this vacation and I have this fear. I want to be confident they know what they're doing. So I just, up until now, I couldn't spend the money to, what is it, like $100 and something for both of them to have swim lessons for the 4 weeks or something. But now I can. Now I can do that. Or if you don't have that money yet, that is my goal in what I'm going to do. See what I did there? Like, I could make that post either when I first became a distributor, or after I got to Ruby or Emerald or Diamond or Double Diamond. Like, you can kind of tweak your dreams based on where you're at in the business. Or you don't have to tweak your dreams, you tweak how you say it. And like I said, Sharon's going to talk about that a little bit, because people don't fall in love with the money you're making. They fall in love with what you want to use that money for and why. And maybe it's not even money. Maybe it's just freedom of time. Another example, I tried on this dress before we went on that same vacation. And it fit like a glove. Like, it fit in all the right places. It was perfect. And that's unusual for me because I'm shorty. And I was like, oh, this is good. And I don't spend money on dresses. I think like $30 would be a lot for me. This dress was $90. And for me, that was huge. And I called my friend, my enroller at the time, and I said, what should I do? And I sent her a picture of what I was wearing. She's like, girl, you just earned $100 bonus. It used to be $100 for when you first started, or when you got a distributor. Now it's the $150. But she's like, you just earned $100 bonus. She's like, buy that dress and that's your life post, that you wouldn't have bought it except you got that bonus. I said, that's a great idea. So that's what I did. Simple post, because I got that bonus. I worked hard for it. It would have made more sense to go into a bank, but you know what? I never bought stuff for myself like that. And it was like the perfect dress. So I decided to do that. And then a third example, because I just wanted to give you guys a variety of how you don't have to tell the secrets of like your family or your husband, because that's what holds people back a lot. I think they're worried, they have this fear of man, or a fear of what the people closest to them are going to say, some sort of judgment, like, hey, I know the real person you are, or I know how you were 5 years ago, like, why are you posting about this? That's private, whatever. Like, you might learn along the way different ways to talk about your story on a deeper level like that. But if you're not there yet, that's okay. You can share about simple things. And my last example is like the most simple thing. I made a whole long post one time about a porch swing. And I don't have a porch swing. I still don't, even though I've been double diamond for like a year and a half. I still don't have a porch swing. But it was part of, something that reminded me of good times in my childhood. Anytime we went camping or on vacation, like we'd have a cabin or something, like with a porch swing. So it brought back like these really fond memories of childhood. And I wanted to raise my kids like with a porch swing in our backyard and just look at the sunset, and just, it brought all these happy moments. But I turned the whole thing into, when I reach this rank, I'm going to make sure to get closer to my goal of getting a porch swing. Turns out like we weren't in the forever house we wanted to stay in. So I was like, why am I going to put a porch swing here? But in our new house that we'll probably get at the end of the summer, I'll put a porch swing in. So you can see like people connect with like very simple things. And so I want to open it up to Sharon. But before I do that, anybody that feels like pretty confident in their life posts. I feel like we have a ton of people on here that are pretty amazing at life posts. Can you drop your Instagram handle in the chat? And that way, if anybody needs inspiration for a life post, they can follow you. And again, we never want to copy and paste somebody's posts, especially life posts. Like they're meaningful to us. But if you want to see somebody's example of how to do one, I know I sure did. When I started, I was like, when Tara told me life post, I was like, what? What? It kind of terrified me. But then when I saw more and more examples, I realized it doesn't have to be like Jade Hooper's life post. She gets into like her mom telling her, when she was young that she couldn't do anything, and her grandparents having issues with money. Like, I would not put that on social media because my parents follow my account. So I'm like, they would smack me silly if I put that on social media. But so you don't have to be Jade Hooper. You don't have to like put these grand things. Sharon, dear, hugging her little babe, is going to chat for a little bit about different things you can put and how to post.
Hey guys, okay, so bear with me. We're having a little breakdown over here. So, okay, well, like Jordan was saying, just piggybacking on some of the stuff she was saying, I've heard a lot of expressions before about people feeling like because they either haven't really made a check yet or haven't promoted in the business, hit certain levels, that they don't really have anything maybe to talk about or to post about. But I want to assure you that is definitely not the case. Like, we all have different nuances about ourselves. I mean, what even brought you to the business in the first place? Whatever drew you to this business, that's something to talk about. Obviously, you needed it for a reason. So that's definitely something to talk about. And it doesn't have to be earth shattering, like Jordan was saying. It could be something as simple as, this check helped me put gas in my car. I know that was one of mine when I first did it. Because as a newer distributor, when you're in that distributor versus executive like mode, you can make anywhere from $20 to $100 or whatever as you're building. But that's still something to talk about. That's money you weren't making before you came. So it still gives you something to talk about. Also, like, for instance, I remember when I first started, I used to listen to Ashley Mayfield a lot. Well, I still do. But I remember in the beginning, she said the reason why she got started is because she wanted to support her sushi habit. Like, she wanted to be able to eat sushi every week and not have to worry about her husband getting on to her about, being able to buy that. So that was kind of her way or introduction into why she was doing the business. But of course, over time, this last year has been crazy. So your whys are going to change as time goes along in the business, and it's supposed to. That's great. As we grow and as life happens, we have different reasons for doing the things we do. Me personally, I'm very open and honest about the fact that I have two boys and one has special needs. So I really connect with a large audience of moms who have kids on the spectrum or whatever. My children are a big part of my posts, especially my oldest son. He's very entertain. He loves to entertain. He has a good time. So they're used to seeing that. And so it's not out of the norm to hear me talk about those things, and how me being able to do this has opened up opportunities for me to be able to be here to support him when he needs me, and to give him that extra support that he needs, because kids are expensive anyways. So times extra stuff that, medications and services and our therapies and things like that. And, you can have a good paying job, but with insurance and everything, it's still going to be pricey. So that was kind of my reason. I mean, you will hear the expression, your why should make you cry. But if it doesn't, that's okay too, because, as long as whatever your why is enough to motivate you to be determined, consistent, and that why is enough to see you through the ups and down periods of your business, then that's all that matters. And so when people see that and they connect with that, you're offering them a whole new way of connecting with you. And don't think that this is repetitive, but don't think you're being irritating or whatever, because if we're doing our 6 list and we're building our followers on a daily basis, we're introducing ourselves to new people every day. Yeah, you have a network already, but the new ones, those are the ones we're trying to reach. And I can guarantee you, when I start to follow someone, I'm not going to scroll down through their stuff and look at some of the history or whatever. I'm probably only going to check out maybe their first 6 or 7 posts to interact on. So if you're not posting something about that every day, well, then they won't know anything about that. So that's why it's important to do that for the new people that you're adding. I know for me personally, when I was following Kalila before I got to the business, I can guarantee you though that, I watched her for a while, and I watched her post and how she used to express why she was in the business, what her goals were, what this business was going to do for her, what she was hoping it would do for her, because she had hopes and dreams of doing different things. And I ignored it for a while, but she was so consistent with it. And I just kept, until one finally resonated with me that she did. So, and I can guarantee if she wasn't doing that, I probably would have never even reached out about the business or even asked about it. So people are going to watch you for a while too. Just because no one is responding, don't think that you're not getting anywhere with it. They could be watching you for a long time before they actually think that, okay, she's been saying this and this, and now let me find out for myself if this is, what's gonna or what I can connect with. So it definitely has a purpose. It just really helps people get to know you. So we want to get to know you too. So I know they do. They love to watch people's journey and find out about, how they got to where they are, because they're nosy. So like you say, it just have to be something where you're telling your business, but enough for people to connect with you and they feel like you're a person and you're not just trying to get in their pockets, what else did I want to share?
I love that, Sharon. I love that you brought up the repetitive thing. I know Sandy was brave enough to share that was one of her fears, and that's a lot of people's fear. you feel like you're sounding like the same, like a broken record. But how many times have we seen Jade's posts, Ashley Mayfield's post, Ashley Murph's post, and do we read their posts and say, oh my goodness, they're talking about their story again, they're so annoying? Like, no, we know that their target audience, yes, we're part of their audience, we're part of their team, but that we always want to look forward and look ahead for that growth. So I'm so happy you brought that point up. It's okay if it's repetitive. We actually want our posts to be repetitive and have a theme of our why, because we are adding new people every day, babe. Like we should be, like we need to be, because people are going to be watching us for a while. Some people grab on right away. There's so many people here. I would say most people here probably joined because of a life post, just like you did, Sharon. And if Kalila wasn't posting the way she was posting, you wouldn't have known. You would have never known about the business, and you wouldn't be where you are today. So we are doing a service to people. It's not annoying. It's not too repetitive. Like, we want to talk about that. And there's ways to change up the wording, you know, and yes, our why should make us cry for sure. Like, my why is super important to me about, you know, how I want to further my kids' lives. But there, I also have a why of like wanting to get my hair done every week, you know.
Right.
So, like, you can be bougie about your goals. That's okay. And you are going to find people that connect with you on that. So, you know, thanks for sharing that. And then Jen, thank you so much for sharing another fear that's huge. And, you know, you want to respect your hubby. She said her husband has a very private life, and he, you know, there's so many husbands on here that, you know, have this anti-relationship with social media, and that's okay, because we would never ask anybody to like throw their business out there. But I hope you guys got tips tonight of like ways you can share your why without, you know, yes, you can be vulnerable, but you can share it in different ways so that you're not, you know, throwing all your business out there if you don't want to. You can talk about something super simple. Just really take a reflection on your life, on your hobbies, of, you know, what if somebody handed you $50, what are you going to do with those $50? If somebody handed you $100, what are you going to do with that? And make a post, like go up 150, 200, 250, and take what you write down as a post. You know, if you're going to go out and buy, you know, dog food for Blue, who's behind, we've been looking at the whole time, Monica. That's what she's going to make a life post about. She loves her dogs. She's a dog mom, and she's an awesome dog mom. And she's going to use part of her paycheck to buy some really good food for Blue and Daisy, you know, like, so just talk to your audience like you're sitting in front of them, and like you're a super close friend with them. People want that. You don't want to generalize things. Get as specific as you can, but don't mistake being specific with spilling your guts out. You can be specific without, you know, offending your husband or your parents or your sister that has a private life and doesn't want you to talk about, you know, or if you have teenage kids, that's a big thing. Like, if you have kids that aren't little and they don't want you sharing pictures anymore, you can still do lots of different things. So, and then the last thing Sabrina brought out, and thank you for bringing this out, fear of failure. That's the beauty of a life post. When you're talking about your why and your business, you're talking about your dream. You're talking about your vision for the future. So unless you just totally like stop the business altogether, you know, you're not going to fail. It doesn't matter. You can set a timeline. You can say, I'm going to get here in 2 months. And guess what? If you don't get there in 2 months, that's going to show people that you're even more real of a person, that you're even more authentic and vulnerable, because you just shared something that meant something to you and important with them. And then maybe you didn't reach it in the time, and you can share your feelings. You can say, man, I can't believe like I missed that goal. I was really bummed about it, but you know what? Like, I'm in this for the marathon, not the sprint. And so I'm growing through this journey too. And I'm so happy that you're here with me to see me grow. So you can turn anything, like I don't believe in failure unless you completely stop and quit. Like, you are not a failure. You are failing forward. and learning from any type of mistake or missed goal. But, you know, the whole losing weight thing, if you don't get to your goal fast enough, like people, that's real. People want to see that. They want to see your growing pains. So anywho, let me check in the chat. Does anybody have anything to add or any questions? I think we covered a lot. Yes, Sharon's life posts are bomb. So amazing. So if anybody needs help, if you really are still after this, you're still stuck, just reach out to me or your enroller or anybody else in your upline, and we'll try to like pound it out and see what you can do for your life posts. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night. Thanks for hopping on. Love you guys.
Good night. Bye.
Good night.